Oh,
Yep.
man. Well, we have so much to still get into and talk about. Really excited to bring our guests in studio. The guests have actually been coming since we started at 6 a.m. and it has not stopped. Really excited as we commemorate Youth Month and continue on your Feel Good Breakfast show. We're going to continue highlighting the resilience, not only that, the creativity and the vision of young individuals who are shaping discussions around our nation's future, right? And this morning in particular, we're joined by Fense Malachi, as well as Siba Nobandla and Clotilda Angelucci. I feel like I got to say that again. Clotilda Angelucci.
Rolls with the tongue, yeah?
It really does. And they are all representatives from Youth Capital, which is an advocacy campaign focused on policy change to address youth unemployment in South Africa. And they're here to delve into the significance of their innovative card game. It's called Thetha Ngeunemployment, aimed at sparking essential conversations about youth experiences as well as aspirations in this country. And I love the game because let's talk about unemployment, right? Let's get into the conversation.
Time to play a game. Good morning, firstly. How are we all doing?
Morning.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is exciting. This is perfect timing. I'm very shocked. I'm looking at a statistic here. 2 out of 3 young people are unemployed in South Africa. Clotilda, this is shocking. This needs to change. How do we solve this problem of unemployment? And how does Youth Capital get involved in assisting this big problem that we have right now?
Yeah, the numbers are really big and really scary.
Yeah.
So if you had to create a line with all the young South Africans not in employment, education or training, there will be like a long line from Cape Town all the way past the equator.
Wow.
Whoa.
And sometimes when we look at numbers, we also lose the sense that these are like people, they are like households, their families, their dreams, right, that are crushed. So Youth Capital was formed in 2018. Because we were wondering, like, you know, the unemployment has been like a crisis, an established crisis, a sustained crisis for over a decade, but nothing seems to change. So how can we do the same thing and then expect a different result? So we took some time to engage with young South Africans across the different provinces and about their experiences of unemployment. And then we bridged those experiences to research and policy that already exist. And we launched what we call an action plan, which really prioritizes 10 areas where young people need to support from the day they start school to the way they get into the place of work. We think that unemployment is just a lack of jobs, and it's a lot more. It's about enabling young people to complete their education, like enabling them to access a place of work, and also leverage opportunities that already exist, like public employment programs, to really find their next steps. So it's very complex, but together we can really like ask decision makers for key policy change that can unlock and scale opportunities.
And it's not just talk, we're actually putting action to this, which is something that really needs to change. We have great conversations, but we need to implement them. I love that.
Well, speaking of, let's get into great conversations. Fense, you've got something in your hand. Talk me through this game, Thetha Ngeunemployment. What is it about, and why did you feel that this conversation in particular needed to be had?
So as Clotilda was saying, unemployment is a big issue. And I think for individual South Africans, you hear the stats and you're like, 9.7 million young people. What does that mean on an individual level? And this is where it starts, just having a conversation about what it's like to live and grow up in South Africa and really get an understanding of what results in unemployment, which is the system. It's driven by the system.
Okay.
So we went around South Africa, we spoke to researchers, young people, we spoke to collectors, and we're like, how do we start to address unemployment? And how do we get people to drive for policy change? Because you hear policy change as an individual, you're like, where do I
begin?
Yeah, do I need to go to government?
Yeah.
Quite overwhelming.
Yes, exactly. And this is where it starts, just having a conversation where you can understand different people's experiences and then join a community of people, Youth Capital, where we are driving policy change and putting pressure on decision makers.
Brilliant. Can we have a conversation right now, Siba? Can we maybe show Mzansi how to get involved in this one? Talk to me about this game. How exactly does it work? I know you briefly just discussed that now, but can we show and tell?
Yeah, for sure. So Thetha Ngeunemployment is a 3 to 4 player game. You can play it on your own if you would like to get to know yourself. But the purpose of it is getting to know the people that you're with that are from various backgrounds.
Okay.
I'd just like to open the
please
box
do.
and show you some of the cards. So the first card is what did you think about the game? So if you've just played the game and you have any feedback that you'd like to give, this is the QR code that we have. We are built by a community, so it's important for us to get a lot of feedback from the very same people that we came to be advocating for. At the back of the card, we have tips for people when playing the card. And then the second card is a how to play card, right? So
the rules.
Yes. So if you don't understand me right now, you think, oh, this person is just rambling on. If you want to play the game, you can go read for yourself. But essentially, you have 3 levels to the card game and a reminder card. So the first level is a how's it. So it's how's it. Yeah.
How's it, yeah.
These cards are designed to help people get to know one another. So the prompts are pretty simple. What's your biggest fear?
But deep. Simple but deep.
Yeah.
No, that went from 0 to 100 real quick right there.
I was not
Hey, how's it going? What's your goal in life?
There are easier questions.
That's where we at.
I like it.
There are easier questions. And then the second level is a your card. So
Those are the really deep ones.
Yeah.
Like even deeper.
Oh, wow, okay.
You have to play the card game.
Okay.
And then the third level is a show card. Now these cards are designed
relief.
for relief,
Debrief.
debriefing and reflection on the conversations that you just had with the 2 to 4 or yourself that you just played with. And then we have a reminder card for when it gets tense during the game. Then people can pick up a reminder card. You know, affirmations. We keep telling ourselves that, like,
Hold up,
look
so-
yourself in the mirror.
This is like a game that's really sparking and inviting conversation
Yes.
on another level without you even realizing it.
Yes.
How do you win this game?
Yeah. Who comes out on top?
The minute you're playing, you're winning, right? Because the conversation's starting, you're getting to know things that you probably would never ask someone in the first place. This is something you could just throw into a group of strangers and then they just
what I was
light
gonna
up with
say.
like connections. This is really cool.
I think you win the moment you step into the conversation.
Yeah.
And we all have different experiences in South Africa based on where you grew up, where you come from. And I think just being able to find a middle ground, I think we found that with people playing the game. The minute you find a middle ground, then they're like, okay, this is why you're like this, and this is where you come from. And so it leads to greater understanding.
We had to test the game internally, so we had these conversations. We can also see from a team perspective how much better we know each other now that we can really see each other.
Oh, I love that. Well, quick one before we let you go. How can people actually access this? Because this is so important, such a great tool for us to continue on the fight of fighting unemployment.
Sure. So you can find the game on our website, youthcapitals.co.za, and you can play it there. And then we also have these really cool card games, or cards. So if we're trying to do pop-ups around Cape Town and other cities in South Africa.
Look out for on our socials.
Yes, so we'll do pop-ups with different brands, different organizations. So people should follow us on social media at Youth Capital SA. And then you can also join community. If you have one of these packs of cards, you scan the barcode and you join our community.
So these conversations really drive actions. If you then, scan the QR code, join the community, and really help us advocate with policymakers. We do the relentless bit, and you can just, lend your voice.
And be part of
This is
the
perfect.
change.
I've needed this all my life. I get to play a game and work's happening in the background? This is amazing. I'm sold.
Yes, guys.
Zanzi, join the community and you see what I did there. Scan that QR code, get involved in this game and check the website out right now. This is an incredible and most pertinent time to play a game that involves something so much deeper and so much bigger, which I think we all can serve a purpose towards. So thank you for the work you're putting into this, and I hope that this just blows up. I think it definitely is.